Greetings, everybody. Today, I just want to uh, touch on a subject and briefly talk about uh, publishing your book. And I just want to share a few some insight into the publishing industry and how it works for those of us who are not cognizant as to how this whole industry works. Uh, Publishing your book. Uh, Traditionally, publishing involves a publishing house and a literary agent. When I say literary agent, you would conceive an individual. No, they are not individuals, but it is a company unto itself, and there will be hundreds of people with a reputed agent. There will be hundreds, if not more, people working for the company. Uh, to begin with, is if you are into writing and if you have an innate talent to write, and if you have creative ideas, be it fiction or non-fiction, you will want to you would want people to read what you write, and you will finish your manuscript, and once you're done, you have to approach a literary agent, send them your your proposal, your book proposal, which would include a synopsis of 3 pages, the concise, uh, the salient uh, what makes you the salient features of your book, what makes uh, different from the other books, and why it becomes a unique, a marketable product. Now that, in essence, a sales pitch, your synopsis will be has to draw the interest of the literary agent. Plus, you will write a letter of proposal as to, and you will outline as to why your book is unique and why it's different, and how, and the reasons why you think it has immense potential to make money, big money, millions of dollars. Now, if you can convince your literary agent, he would want to look at your manuscript. But often what happens here is literary agents, it's one of those ironies in life. They want to look at, they want to go with authors who are quite well established. If you're, it's always the first crack at the nut that becomes almost next to impossible. But once you have your first book published, and if it makes it to the bestseller list, the agents will not stop. They will offer you a check before when you think of your second, third, fourth book. So you will get an advance, and because you're already a successful author, you have proved yourself. But that is the catch-22 situation. Like, if you're a new author, how do you? It's like asking a college graduate, "Do you have experience?" Unless you give a job, nobody's going to have nobody's going to acquire the experience. So, and employers always looking for experienced candidate. And where do the college graduates go? It's something like that, egg and chicken syndrome. Now that said, if your book is complete, if your I shouldn't use the word book. If your manuscript is complete, you will send your book proposal. I guarantee you that literary agents, if you're a new and aspiring writer, literary agents don't even look at your book proposal. They won't even look at your manuscript, because every single day they get hundreds, if not thousands, of manuscripts, uh, and they put it on a slush pile. That's what they call it, slush pile, and they have no time for new authors. That said, it's very, very. I'm not trying to paint a very gloomy and pessimistic picture, but this is what the new aspiring authors are looking at. Alternatively, uh, if you let's say if you are well known, you can't you can forget writing, you can't write 5 sentences properly. uh, Regardless, if you're in the if you're well known in politics or otherwise, uh, you know if people, let's say you rob the bank. I mean, that's an extreme example, but you escaped. You're in exile, and you cannot. Nobody. You are in a place nobody can touch you, and you bet. Uh, Reputed publishing houses will give you hundreds of millions to publish your biography. It's the same with people in politics, uh, scandalous politics. Uh, Someone like, sorry to tell you, someone like James Comey gets 60 million. These people, it's sad how the industry operates, and it's all name and fame, no substance, but books that have no merits uh, make it to the bestseller list because of promotion and marketing. It's all about marketing. That said, you may be a great author, a good writer. Nobody will want to look at you because you're a total non-entity. And by some stroke of luck, if something happens, all these people, be it, I could quote you a few names. John Gresham wrote his first book. Nobody wanted manuscript. Nobody wanted to even take a look at the manuscript. He self-published it, sold 500 copies. Went to, as I understand, went to the malls, whatever schools, like a panhandler, or like selling his own books. I find it. I can't in even in million years, I cannot. I don't think I would want to do something like that. Taking a book that I taking a book that I published, going around and selling it, because others should talk about your book, and the see your merits. You should be Others should talk about your merits, and when you talk about your own merits, it's something I find it difficult. But they have done it. They have made it. John Gresham is one of the successful uh, authors who made it to the top. Deepak Chopra, first book is self-published, POD published, POD publication, or whatever, self-published. He talks about it, and it's been sitting there languishing. Some friend who is connected to some publisher came, what are you doing with this book? It's there, and let me take a look, and took the book, and the rest is all history. And he went on Oprah Winfrey and his book Timeless Ageless Body, Timeless Mind overnight sold 1 million copies, and he never looks back. And now the rumor is he doesn't even write his own books. He has a ghostwriter. Unlike most of these guys who are famous in politics, they don't write their own books. They have ghostwriters. Somebody else is writing their books and makes it to the bestseller. The other person in the early 90s, James Redfield, wrote Celestine Prophecy, another interesting story about how a self-published author made it to the mainstream and made it big time. Now that those are exceptions, few and far between. Not everybody, often it's a fluke. Doesn't happen with everybody. The average person who writes a book, who doesn't have connections, who's a first-time author, you are like a little child lost in a dense forest, not knowing which way to go. It's a sad state of affairs, but that's how. Not trying to discourage anybody, but that's how the publishing industry works. POD publication, originally it was known as self-publishing, where the author takes his manuscript to a printing press and gets it printed, and if he could sell it, by all means. Otherwise it's a memorabilia. It keeps it for the family. Research scientists, doctors, people who are into research, they keep their dissertations and theses in book format, and they self-publish. They publish their they print their theses in book format and keep it for their own reference. That's one aspect of self-publishing. But then the offshoot of self-publishing is POD publishing. I would advise everybody to stay away from POD publishing. POD stands for print on demand. This is a sleazy business. I'm sorry. I like to call a spade a spade. It's morally questionable, legally acceptable, because you cannot go to court and say, these guys, I gave them my manuscript, they promised so many things, but then in the end nothing happens. No. They will, from the outset, they're out to get your money. You pay the printing cost. These companies have, with the digital era, it's not even the printing is made easy, because all they have to do is have a blueprint. They have connections with the two biggest book distributors, Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. They are said to be the two biggest book distributors in US and probably in the world as well. They have connections with these companies. Your book will be in their website, but that's the end of it. Kiss your book goodbye. If it sells, you will hardly see. It will sell only if you talk to your friends and relatives and if you promote. If you can promote your own book, and if you can sell 3,000 copies, you could 3 to 5. If you sell 5,000 copies on your own, so you might have a chance getting the attention of a reputed literary agent. Slim chance. Not trying to discourage, but there is a chance. That said, I don't want to be making you completely disillusioned, but that's the reality. Just for your information. Thank you for listening. Bye.